All right, so the other day, I actually went ahead and made a tier list video where I was ranking every single YouTuber inside of Blox Fruits. As you can see here, I did this video called These Are the Worst Roblox Blox Fruits YouTubers. Dun dun dun! So today, I thought I'd go ahead and make another tier list, but this time for all the fruits in the game. Ooh, select a category. Ooh, Among Us. When the imposter is sus. Description of template, super epic poopy fruits. And then, you know, I went ahead and gave it that super epic cover photo down there. All right, and then boom, now we have our little tier list with all our tiers right here and all of these fruits down here. Okay, wait, and hold up. I just noticed that our buddy Number School is actually live streaming Blox Fruits right here, as you can see down here. What are they talking about? Okay, they're talking about nothing useful. You know, it's time to spice up this stream. xDemon's here. Go ahead, super chat, $20. You know, I'm feeling generous. Hey, daddy, winky face.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
All right, but anyways, back to the tier list. And starting off, we have the barrier fruit down here. Okay, and now with the barrier fruit, I actually haven't really ever used it. You know, it's got some pretty cool moves, like you can summon stairs, you can make walls appear like a barrier. But overall, this fruit is literally horrible for combat. So I'm gonna go ahead right into the F tier. You're garbage. You shouldn't even exist. All right, and then next up, we have the good old blizzard fruit. This fruit was actually just recently added to the game, and overall it is a pretty cool fruit. It's got some cool effects. You can summon some blizzard tornadoes, you can freeze people to death with your blizzard moves, you can do all sorts of types of things with the blizzard fruit. And then overall, I do think the blizzard fruit is actually a pretty cool fruit. However, I don't think it is that good for combat. So, you know, I hate to do this, and I'm probably gonna get some hate for doing this, but this bad boy is going into the B tier. All right, and then the next fruit that we are onto is the bomb fruit. Now, I would say that the bomb fruit is pretty decent. You can actually do a bunch of different explosion moves with each of the moves that it provides. And you know, the bomb fruit greatly reminds me of Bakugo from My Hero Academia. And so, you know, bomb fruit, not really that good for combat. But since it reminds me of Bakugo, I'm gonna go ahead and also put it into the B tier. Yeah, that's right. I put it in the B tier for Bakugo. You got a problem with that? All right, and now we are on to the Buddha fruit. Now with the Buddha fruit, not only is it really good just in its base form, you know, you can go into a little tiny Buddha, you know, beat things up and whatnot. And once you awaken the Buddha fruit, not only do you get 10 times larger, but you get some crazy defense. All of your moves on Buddha get upgraded too. And you know, they are pretty cool when you use them. And overall, this is probably the best fruit to use in the game if you want to quickly grind through levels. And also another benefit of this Buddha fruit down here is that it is insanely good for PvP. So I'm gonna have to go ahead. Everyone was already expecting this. It's going into S tier. Buddha, mwah, chef's kiss. All right, and now we are on to the chopped fruit. Now, I haven't actually had a chance to use the chopped fruit inside of Blox Fruits, but I did play this other game called Fruits Battleground where I got to use it. And you know, it was kind of similar to Rubber where I could extend my limbs and all that to do some pretty cool moves on people. But it let me turn into a car, bro. I could become Car Demon. And not only could I turn into a car, but I could run people over! And you know, this fruit isn't that good for PvP and whatnot, but since that other game let me literally run people over, I'm gonna go ahead and just put it into the C tier. All right, and then up next, we have the control fruit. Now, I don't know why people like the control fruit that much because it's not really that good for PvP, but with the control fruit, you can do some pretty cool moves with what it provides you. And not only do the moves look super cool, but you can also fling boats with it. You can literally use the control fruit to control people's boats and fling them. It's amazing. So control fruit really not that useful in combat, but it does provide some pretty good laughs here and there. So I'm gonna once again just put this into the B tier just because it provides me entertainment. Okay, I think we can all agree that's pretty fair. All right, and then the next fruit we have is actually Darkbeard's fruit, aka the dark fruit. So with the dark fruit, all the moves are pretty cool when they're unawakened. You know, you can suck people into black holes, you can give them the super suck, you can give them the suck 9000, I don't care. But once you awaken this bad boy, it gets a lot stronger and the moves look a lot cooler too. I mean, you can literally put people into your black pit if you know what I'm saying. So, you know, dark fruit, pretty decent. You know, I wouldn't say it's one of my go-tos to use, but it is a very good fruit, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it in A. Okay, and now we're onto a fruit that I have actually never seen what it does. So, editor, please insert cool clips from whoever's video of diamond fruit.
But let's see. Oh, wait. Oh, what did I just do? Wait, what? I just did a little, like, 2,000 damage on 2 guys, I think? Whoa, whoa! That dealt damage to everything? It was just like a big shine. That was actually kind of cool. It might not be as bad at grinding as I remember it being.
But you know, diamond fruit down here is looking a lot like barrier fruit right there. So I hate to do this diamond, but I don't know you too well. You're going in F. Get out of here. Ooh, but this next fruit down here is my favorite for all the wrong reasons. We are now on to the dough fruit. And come on, guys. What were you expecting? You had it. This was coming. You knew this was coming. So with the dough fruit, it is actually pretty weak when you first get your hands on it. All the moves don't really do that much damage, and they kind of suck overall. But once you start awakening this bad boy, oh my god, is it OP. You can turn into a little spiky donut ball. You can literally hit people with JoJo punches. Like, look at that. See what it does? Oh, we have mega JoJo punches now. You can grab enemies with it and swing them around. And not only are all those overpowered, but with your Z move, you get to shoot your white sticky stuff at people and it explodes on them. So I'm gonna go ahead and just aggressively grab this and put it all the way at the front of S. A king's fruit deserves a king's place up in the S tier. All right, and then the next fruit we are on to is the ultimate furry fruit, the dragon fruit. Dragon, just like a dragon, nuts across your face. So with the dragon fruit, all the starter moves you unlock before you unlock your transformation are actually pretty OP. You can shoot dragon blasts at players. You can literally shoot multiple blasts at once like you have a Tommy gun. You can rush into players with your X move too. You have the kind of trash flight ability as well. But once you guys unlock that transformation, all of your moves become so overpowered. And you know, since this dragon fruit right here is super overpowered, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in S tier as well, right behind dough fruit. But I am going to keep it in front of Buddha fruit because if you didn't know this, dragon fruit actually has more defense than Buddha. Yeah, it's real. Go look it up on the wiki, okay? I'm not showing you guys. All right, and now the next fruit we are on to is this pile of right here, the bird falcon fruit. Now, I'm not even gonna show you guys clips for this fruit. It's just trash. Immediately an F. Go away. You shouldn't even exist. Delete yourself. All right, but now we're on to one of my personal favorites, the flame fruit right here. So with the flame fruit, all of the base moves before you awaken it are actually really cool. You can do a decent amount of damage with them, and some of the moves also have burn damage with them. But once you awaken it, all of the moves become extremely overpowered if you know how to use them right. You can literally summon a giant fireball to send down on your opponents because, you know, our balls are super hot. But also with all the awakened moves, not only do they look super cool, but they are super overpowered because they all do burn damage. So unpopular opinion, but I'm going to actually go ahead and put flame in the front of S tier. Yeah, go ahead and comment some hate down below. I don't care. What are you gonna do, huh? What are you gonna do, huh? Ooh, and now we're on to the other purple glowy fruit, the gravity fruit. So with the gravity fruit, it is actually pretty good in combat. You can stun your opponents with your gravity field X move. You can push them away with your gravity Z move. And once you get enough mastery, you can summon down giant fiery balls from the sky. So I'm actually gonna have to go ahead and put the gravity fruit right here, right behind dark fruit in A tier. But you know, it's very close to going to B tier. You know, actually, I'm gonna put it in the front of B tier. I think gravity would be 10 times better though if it got an awakening. So sorry guys, that's just my opinion. Ooh, and now we're on to the drippy fruit now, the ice fruit. So with the ice fruit, not only do you get a nice long rod to use with it, but all the starter moves are, you know, pretty decent. You know, you get some nice little stuns here and there. Your V move just does a giant ice field to stun players too. But once again, once you awaken this bad boy, it becomes a pretty top tier, especially in combat. Almost every single move provides you with a stun, and it also does a bunch of damage on impact. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and take this ice fruit right here and put it in the front of A tier. I think it's well deserved, okay? I think we can all agree. Ice fruit pretty OP. Okay, but you know what's even more OP than the ice fruit? This fruit down here, the kilo fruit, the best fruit in the game. So with this fruit, you can basically just fling yourself up into the air, but then you come smashing down onto your opponents harder than I smashed your mom. So with this bad boy right here, I think it is honestly the best fruit in the game. It's going in the front of S tier, of course. Well deserved. Voila, come on, send in the clapping sound effects, send in the cheering sound effects. We love you, Kilo!
No.
All right, and then with this next fruit, you are actually able to become a super furry with it. We have the leopard fruit. Now, leopard fruit doesn't have an awakening, but all of the moves do an insane amount of damage. And once you unlock your leopard transformation, not only does it buff all your moves, but you become an insane powerhouse for PvP. So not only is this fruit super overpowered and super speedy, but you know, it just lets me channel my inner furry. So, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and put Leopard at the front of A tier, but I don't think it's good enough for S tier just yet. I think it needs an awakening for that. And then, ooh, this next fruit I like too, because it gives us a nice and long rod as well. We have the light fruit. So, you know, light fruit, pretty decent fruit, you know. It's not really that good for grinding. It's not really that good for PvP. It's kind of more of an aesthetically pleasing fruit. And once you awaken it, you get some pretty cool abilities where you can, like, rush into players and slam them about. You can do your flying ability, gives you infinite flight, and you're super speedy with it. And you can do a multitude of other things with this fruit. But you know, I think light is kind of garbage, to be honest. So I hate to do this, but light's going in the front of C tier. Ooh, and then this next fruit actually got a nice little rework in the new Valentine's update. We have the love fruit down here. So when I first used love fruit before the rework, it was actually a big pile of garbage. All the moves really weren't that cool looking, and all they really did was give a nice little stun with a minimal amount of damage. But once we got that nice and beautiful rework on it, oh my god. Not only are we able to unlock a flamingo buddy to fly on and a friend to help us do damage, but all of the moves look 10 times better. They do 10 times more damage, and overall, I think love fruit was just showing some love. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and put love fruit up here in the A tier right behind leopard. Ooh, and then this next fruit we're on is super hot. We got the magma fruit. All right, so with the magma fruit, before it's awakened, all the moves are pretty decent, I guess. They're very good for the first and second C, pretty trash for the third C. However, though, once you awaken this bad boy, it not only becomes super good for grinding, but it also becomes super good for PvP. You can literally melt your opponent's health with all of the magma moves. It's so overpowered. So with this magma fruit down here, I'm actually gonna go ahead and put it at the end of S tier. Unpopular opinion, but I don't really care. Ooh, and then we got our next fruit down here, which is the paw fruit. So with this paw fruit, you know, it's not really that good combat-wise. All the moves do a bunch of damage, and you know, you get some pretty insane range, especially that V move with the red circle. That's just pretty cool. But I think I like this fruit the most because in the One Piece anime where Zoro is put through Luffy's pain, that goes hard, my man. So you know, this paw fruit isn't really that good in the game, but in the anime it is pretty overpowered. So just because of that, I'm gonna go ahead and put it at the front of B.
Haha, I put gravity behind paw that you guys are gonna.
Ooh, and then next up we have the super stylish fruit, the Phoenix fruit. So with this Phoenix fruit, it is super cool regardless of you awakening it or not. All of the unawakened moves are super cool and do a bunch of damage, and all of the awakened moves are super cool and do a bunch of damage. Especially once you unlock that awakened transformation, then you get to shoot like 3 fireballs and just do a bunch of damage overall. Plus, it literally allows you to heal yourself with that X move aura it puts around you. So you know, I'm gonna go ahead and put our little Phoenix friend right here between love and ice. I don't think it's S tier quality though, so sorry for that. Ooh, and now we're on to another fruit that recently got a rework, the portal fruit. So before portal got a rework, it was actually called the door fruit, and it was, you know, pretty good. You could still TV around from island to island, but it was god-awful for combat and doing damage. But once they got that nice little rework, not only do the portals look super cooler, all of your attack moves look super cool and do a bunch of damage, and you can also put your opponents in your own little portal realm that you can just beat them up in. So, you know, I'm gonna base this one off of looks and not stat, and I'm gonna go ahead and put portal at the end of A. It's not that good for combat, but it is very good for mobility and getting around to places super fast if you're doing a quest. Ooh, and the next fruit is Quake, just like how I make your mom quake.
Can we get much higher? So high.
So with Quake Fruit, it is a fan favorite for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why you guys like this fruit. All of the unawakened moves are pretty decent and pretty cool, and they do a decent amount of damage while looking super stylish. But once you awaken the moves, they get super overpowered. There's one move where you can basically slam into people and break the dimension because you hit them so hard. You can literally summon giant tsunamis to help you do damage as well. And overall, Awakened Quake is just pretty cool. I think we can all agree. So, ooh, where should I put Quake? A, B, B, C. You know, I think I'm just gonna put it in C because there's just not that many fruits in C. I'll let you guys decide down below where Quake should be. Ooh, and then the next fruit we're on to is the Revive Fruit. So with the moves on Revive Fruit, they actually aren't really that good for doing damage against opponents. I mean, you can possess people, you can fly around, you can do all the basic ghost type stuff, but its final move is where it's all at because it will literally revive you back to half health once you die. And you know, if you're pretty good in combat, you could probably exploit that to the best use you could. So you know, since Revive not that good, but has a revive, haha, get it? Revive has a revive. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and put this at the end of C, you know, I just, actually no, maybe at the end of B. Yeah, we'll just leave it there, at the end of B. And now we're on to the fruit that is used by Luffy the Pirate King. We have the Rubber Fruit. So the one and only time that I used the Rubber Fruit was when I became Luffy inside of Roblox Blox Fruit. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen that video, you know, go ahead and check it out, link down below. But with this Rubber Fruit, all of the moves are pretty cool, you know, you get to extend your limbs, they do a bunch of damage, you can just smack down your opponents like it's WWE Wrestling Mania. And once you unlock your transformation, it makes all of your moves super speedy. You can literally grab your opponents and slam yourself into them. You can also hit them with Rubber's own version of JoJo punches. Hit them with the rush punches! So, you know, I might get hate for this, but I'm actually gonna put Rubber at the end of A tier. Because I know, it's good. It's good. You just gotta know how to use it. Don't suck, okay? Anyone who comments down below saying Rubber is trash, it's not. You're the trash. Ooh, and the next fruit we're on to is Rumble. So with the Rumble fruit, it is actually a really cool looking fruit. All of the awakened moves and unawakened moves just look super cool as well. You can literally summon giant Rumble balls from the sky to throw on your opponents. Because, you know, we love throwing balls at our opponents here on the xDemon channel. But other than that, all the moves, I can't help but say it. They just look super cool, okay? It's an aesthetically pleasing fruit. I'm sorry. So with our boy Rumble Fruit right here, I think I'm gonna go ahead and, I think I'll just put it right behind the Leopard on the 8. I don't think it's as good as Love yet. All right, and the next fruit we have is the Sand Fruit. And honestly, this fruit reminds me of Garo from Naruto. I won't even lie. Just admit it. It reminds everyone of Garo. But with the Sand Fruit, I actually haven't really used it that much, but I know for a fact that all the moves are pretty cool and super unique. And not only that, but you can awaken this fruit too. And one of your moves, you can literally just suffocate your opponents into a big ball of sand. Man, why is there always so many balls on my channel? But, you know, I'm just gonna go ahead and put Sand at the front of B tier for now. I don't really know where to rank it, so I think in the middle is pretty fine. Ooh, but next up, this next fruit is actually super overpowered. We have the Shadow Fruit. So with the Shadow Fruit, all of the moves actually do a ton of damage if you know how to use it right. The Z move, you can literally beam into your opponents like it's the Z move from God Human. The flying move, you can literally just fly around opponents and drain their health. And then the V move, you can literally turn into a big ball version of yourself, explode your balls, and then all the toxic gas from inside of your balls just melts everything around it. So, you know, I'm actually gonna have to go ahead and put our Shadow Fruit friend here all the way behind Dragon Fruit and the S tier. Okay, and oh no, the next few fruits. Oh, these are gonna be horrible to rank. All right, so next up we have Smoke Fruit. You know, with Smoke Fruit, you can actually do one ability where you can just have another toxic gas thing similar to Shadow where it drains opponents' health. But, you know, overall, it's not really that good, but it is pretty decent, so I might as well put it at the end of C. And then next up we have Spike Fruit down here. And then with this Spike Fruit, you know, it's also not really that good at all, but you get to turn into a giant spiky ball version of yourself and run people over with your spiky balls. So, you know, since that's just kind of entertaining, I'll go ahead and put it in the front of Smoke in C tier. And then next up we have Spin Fruit right here, which I'm going to swiftly put right behind Bird Falcon in F. I'm not even gonna explain why. We all know the answer to that. Oh, but next up we have another personal favorite of mine, the Spirit Fruit. So before Spirit Fruit actually became Spirit, it was considered the Soul Fruit, which looked completely different than how it does now. And you know, all the moves are pretty decent and cool looking on the Soul Fruit, but once we got our hands on that rework, oh my god, is it overpowered. Not only do we have our hot balls and our cold balls, but they do some insanely overpowered moves and some insanely overpowered damage. We can combine the power of both of our balls to create the most overpowered end of the world beam to destroy anyone that stands in our way. So since this is one of my personal favorites, I'm actually gonna go ahead and put it right behind Kilo and S fruit, because Spirit is honestly the fruit I use the most when I'm PvPing players. It's just so fun to use. Okay, and then next up we have this fruit down here called the spring fruit. And you know, I think the only useful thing about the spring fruit is the fact that you can just bounce around the map for mobility. Okay, but I think that's honestly the only good use of it. So it is also going in F, but right in front of spin, because spin's just that horrible. All right, and now we are down to 2 fruits remaining, starting with this one, the string fruit, aka known as spider now. So when we used the spider fruit, it was actually the string fruit, and you know, all the moves were super overpowered, especially when they're awakened. We could send a giant big white worms to eat our opponents. We could send them into a little field of strings that would slice them up, and we could just attack them with big purple tendrils like it's anime. Hee. But once string got a rework into spider fruit, not only did it make all the moves super overpowered, but my new favorite move on it is the awakened F ability, which basically just lets you swing around like Spider-Man. Like, look at that, Spider-Man, Spider-Man. So I think with this rework that was given to the string fruit, making it the spider fruit now, I think it's pretty overpowered and pretty good. So I'm actually just gonna go ahead and put it right behind love fruit in A tier. All right, and then last but not least, we are on to the venom fruit. So with the venom fruit, it is actually very similar to the dragon fruit, where you can unlock a transformation. And honestly, this fruit is at its max power once you unlock that transformation, because not only do you turn into a big poisonous 3-headed dragon thing, but you can basically use all your different moves to melt your opponent's health. And similar to the shadow fruit, this fruit also has a move where you can create a giant cloud of toxic gas to melt everything in its vicinity. So you know, I think I'm just gonna have to go ahead and put venom fruit right behind our boy Shadow in the S tier. All right, and then boom, I think this is our completed tier list. I want you guys to go ahead and let me know down below if there are any fruits you would have ranked differently and why. But you know, I think this list turned out, you know, pretty fair, to be honest. So with that being said, make sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and comment down below what I should make a tier list about next.